All right, here we go. 3, 2. It's setting up the meeting. All right, we're live. This is our first ever Facebook Live. Maria?
This is amazing. This is amazing.
So fun.
Oh my God.
So for those tuning in, I'm Greg Reinauer. I'm the Director of Admissions at Academy for Coaching Excellence, and I'm here with Dr. Maria 𝗍𝗵𝗏, my mentor, our founder, and we are talking about a new course, Befriending Your Body. Well, it's not a new course, but we're doing it for the first time in a while.
In a long time.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I'd love to ask a couple of questions, but just kind of bottom line, what's the course about? What do people get from it?
Well, the purpose of this course is for you to have a relationship with your body that's a real partnership instead of a struggle. And let me tell you a story that I think encapsulates it. You've heard me tell it probably 10,000 times, Greg.
I love this story though.
You know, but for people listening. So for those of you listening, pretend that you and your body haven't been communicating very much lately, or not at all, really. And you decide to take your body to a couples counselor. Now, I know this is kind of an interesting way to visualize things, but play along with me on this. So you go to a couples counselor and you're sitting on the couch. You're one place and your body's sitting next to you and you're facing the couples counselor. And the counselor says to you, tell me, so what's happening with you and your body? And you start, you say, well, I think it's trying to sabotage me, because I want to do so many things in life. And every time I start out to do something, I pull an ankle and it takes a long period of time. And you start talking about all the stuff, that it's too fat or it's too skinny, or you don't like the way it looks. And, you just really lay everything out, just how we would sometimes talk about our bodies. And then the couples counselor turns to your body and says, so what do you have to say to this person about this person? And your body says, well, they never take me out. They're always ashamed. They're always pointing to something that's wrong with me. They never acknowledge me. They get frustrated with me and angry with me. Now, my question is this: how long would you be in a relationship with someone who treated you that way? The way we treat our bodies. How long would you want to be with a person like that? And of course, the answer is not very long, right? And so to take this metaphor a little further, why does our body hang around? And I say it's because your body loves you. Your body loves you. Your body has always loved you. Your body just wants to be your partner and has been your partner from the time you came onto this planet until the time you're going to leave. Your body loves you. And my question to you is, what would you do with someone who loved you that much? That no matter how critical you were of it, it still wanted to hang around. It still loved you. How would you treat that body? How would you treat that person? And it gives rise to a lot of questions, doesn't it? And maybe some funny answers. But the purpose of this course is for you to learn a way to partner with your body, a way to access your body's voice of wisdom. Your body has a voice. I did some research, Greg, not too long ago and discovered that there's around 67 trillion sentient cells in our bodies. And that's a lot. What if sentient means that they're aware, they respond to input. And what if, knowing this, we learned how to communicate with our body to form a real partnership, a real friendship, so that we don't have those thoughts about the body anymore. And instead, life was a lot easier with our bodies. So that's, that's why I created this course. In the course, Greg, one of the things that, I don't know if you were ever in this course yourself.
No, not yet. Looking forward to it.
Good. We're going to go through a body forgiveness process.
Yeah, tell me about that.
It's just, well, it's letting go of all the stuff that we've been hanging on to about our bodies and our dissatisfaction about the bodies. And, forgiveness occurs when you are just willing to let go of your thoughts and your constructions of, in general, who someone is. And in this case, who our body is, what we've been saying about our body. Sometimes it starts as young as 5 or 6 years old. I mean, I remember that I was very tall as a child. And so it was hard for me to find dance partners with guys because at the same age, they weren't as tall as me. And so I wanted to, kind of hunch down and pretend I was not so tall. And, we probably all grow up with something having to do with our bodies. And so the purpose of this course is for you to let go of that and then start to create the relationship with your body that you want to have. So we do it in the space of 3 days.
Amazing. This is great. So there's a lot, I'm noticing a lot out there right now on relationship with the body, positive body image, self-care. So it's a very popular topic. What makes this course different than a lot of other courses people might take on their body?
One of the biggest things is that we get down to the root of the dissatisfaction and show you in the space of really the first day how to let all of that go. Because it's hard to do self-care if it's on top of some thoughts that we have about what our body does for us or doesn't do for us. Greg, I remember someone I was coaching not too long ago, she said, my body is sabotaging me. No, your body is not sabotaging you. Your body loves you. If your body is ill, okay, if your body is ill, it doesn't mean that it's sabotaging you. It is doing the best that it can do in physical reality with all of the stuff that comes at it from day to day. If we were to really think about what does your body have to face on a day-to-day level, not only from the external world that has us have certain images of how our body has to look, but from what we say to our bodies. So the first part of the course, but this is not the only part, is where you're going to see what it is that you've been saying in a very supportive atmosphere, and you're going to be shown how to let all of that go. And then the second part of the course is you constructing in a step-by-step way the relationship with your body that you would love to have. And then third, you will engage in an exercise in which you actually come in contact with your body's voice. Your body has a voice. It talks to you, and you'll learn how to listen. And then finally, we have someone who's a master in Qigong, and they are going to be giving us some very simple exercises in between some of our sessions to show us how to bring energy back into our bodies in a very sweet way. So it's a very holistic view, and people are going to be left with some things that they can do with and for their bodies.
Love it. And you mentioned Qigong. So for those who don't know what that is, just bottom line, what is that?
It's a way of harnessing and using energy to relax your body or energize your body. It was the precursor to Tai Chi, actually. It's older than Tai Chi. And the person we're going to be working with just very, very sweetly and briefly is going to give us some ways to energize our bodies so that when you leave the course, not only will you have forgiven your body, not only will you have seen and learned how to partner with your body, not only will you have created a way to hear what your body has to say to you, not only will you have created a slogan for you and your body. For example, a slogan can be something like, oh, this is mine, okay? Me and my body, best friends for life. And you'll be encouraged, whatever it is for you, you'll be encouraged to put it somewhere where you can see it and where your body can see it. And you can be reminded. And then finally, you'll leave not only being able to hear your body's voice, but with a couple of very sweet exercises that you can do.
Great. Speaking of energy, in our foundational training, you talk about 6 forms of energy, and one of them being the energy of physical vitality, the relationship with your body. So can you say just a little bit about what that even means, that your relationship with your body is like a form of energy?
Well, thanks for asking me. The main point here is that there are 6 kinds of energy that you and I are here to learn how to use. There's the energy of money. And of course, we have a lot of work that we do at the Academy with people and their relationship with the energy of money. There's the energy of time. Then there's the energy of physical vitality, which literally means having a relationship with your body that guarantees, Greg, that you'll be here long enough in physical reality to do the things that you have been meant to do. You know, there are experiences that you're meant to have. There are contributions that you are meant to give. There are ways of seeing life that are just here waiting for you. And befriending your body is a way that helps guarantee that you'll be around in order to enjoy what you've come here to do, to give, to be. Then there's the energy of creativity. And it's not just about being a Michelangelo or a Picasso. It's about learning how to use creative solutions to get around the inevitable obstacles that are on our path when we're going for a goal or dream. Then there's the energy of enjoyment. That's the 5th energy. And by that, I mean anything that you and I really enjoy doing, will prosper. And then there's the energy of relationship. And by that, I mean learning to be in relationships and where you support others. And just as importantly, where you allow them to support you. So there are these 6 forms of energy. They all are needed in order to have the life you were meant to live, to have the goals and dreams, whatever it is. The book you've always wanted to write, the paintings you've always wanted to paint, the business you've always wanted to start, or to to develop further. It doesn't matter what it is, but we have to use all these 6 forms of energy, and leaving any one of them out makes life very, very difficult.
I love it. How long have you been leading this course, Maria?
What, the Befriending Your Body?
Befriending Your Body, yeah.
I've been leading it on and off for about 25 years.
Wow.
Yep. Since before we started the Academy, and the Academy is about 20 years old. So it's been a good 25 years.
Have you seen the course evolve over the years? Have you seen people come to it for different reasons?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking of one right now. I used to give this course in Sweden, pre-pandemic. I would go to Sweden 3 or 4 times a year to lead courses for the Academy. And there was one woman, Sweden is a very athletic place. They actually have holidays where you can go out. It's kind of like the national sports holiday, where people are expected to go out and play in some sport. And there was this one woman who she wanted to do cross-country skiing, which is, of course, normal up in Sweden. Almost everybody does it. Babies do it. But she, at an early age, I think she must have been 10 or 11, she fell while she was cross-country skiing. And she was with a bunch of kids, other kids, and they started laughing at her. And from that moment on, she said, I will never, ever cross-country ski again. I might go downhill skiing. She would do good running and jogging, but I will never, ever go cross-country skiing again. Well, in the course, she saw that she was holding on to this image of her body as not being worthy, as being something to be ashamed of. And the minute she did this body forgiveness process that everybody's gonna do, and she let go of all these thoughts that she had about, she didn't even know she had a lot of these thoughts, they came bubbling up, but in the forgiveness process, she let go of it, because folks, you can't let go of anything that you don't see that you're holding in your hands. So she saw it, and she let it go. And I got a text from her about 2 months later, her first cross-country skiing adventure since she was a little kid.
Wow.
Yeah, how
That's so sweet.
Yeah, how these early hurts, kids laughing at you, you're too small, you're too big, you're too clumsy, you don't look good enough, all these things. And we remember them, and even if we're not totally aware of them, they're there. And so to have, and I promise everyone, it's going to be the safest environment you've ever been in, to have the safety of being able to kind of have these things bubble up. And we don't do a lot of crying and screaming, and that's not what I mean at all. I mean, just to be able to see what's been there and being able to let it go in a very systematic way, you can end up living more freely with your life.
That's great. Yeah, I love what you just said about you can't let go of something that you don't first see that you're holding on to.
Yep.
So it's so true, especially it's what we do as coaches. Speaking of coaches, we train a lot of coaches. A lot of people come to our foundational training interested in being coaches, which is, by the way, the prerequisite for this course. So if you're interested in this course and you haven't taken our foundational training, I'll just say, take that first. But what's the value of this if there are coaches that are in our community who haven't taken this course? What's the value for a professional coach coming to this course?
Well, I'll tell you, the importance is that as a coach, the most delicious part about being a coach is that you are there to foster your client's agenda, to foster their way of life, to foster what it is they would love. And there is a stopping point that we all have as we're going for a goal or dream. It's a point of, we call it a point of mastery, because it's at that point that you can take everything you've learned and focus it on that point where you would normally stop yourself so that you can keep going. For coaches, there may or may not be a place in which your client is wanting to do something, but they have some kind of a negative outlook on their body, and they talk about it. You can do a forgiveness exercise with them if and only if it seems appropriate to do. In other words, if I had a client who said, I'd love to be able to take up, there's another one, I'd love to be able to take up tap dancing. There's a woman, Sally, and she wanted to take up tap dancing. And she said, I'm really too big. Can you see me? She was, 5'11" and a big woman. She said, can you see me with these little tap shoes tapping? I'd look like an elephant tapping. And it was, wait a second, Sally. So we did, I had her look at what are the things that you're saying about your body? And are you willing to let them go? And we went through a very short form of a body forgiveness process, which I think, Greg, for coaches who come, you and I should do a short form of the body forgiveness process and record it for the coaches.
Right. I love
because I did that with Sally. I didn't put her through the course, the course, we didn't have time, but I had her look at the things that she was saying about her body and asking her the 3 forgiveness questions, having her let it go. And she took up tap dancing and had a ball. With red shoes. She actually was like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. She had these red tap dance shoes. It was very great.
Oh, so great. So coaches will get something that they can use with their clients as well as for their own life. I don't know why this just came to my head, but I was reading one of the course leader guides that you had been working on a while ago, reading through it as one of the course leaders here. And do you remember the story of Gandhi and the kid who ate too much candy or ate too much sugar?
Oh, yes. Yes. Why don't you tell that story?
Yeah, I was just reading it, so it's fresh. It's very simple. A woman took her son to Gandhi. I don't think it's really happened, but a parable, and said, please, my son eats too much sugar. It's bad for him. It's unhealthy. And I've tried everything and he won't listen. Please tell him stop eating too much sugar. And Gandhi said, go home, come back in 2 weeks. She's like, what? Okay. She comes back in 2 weeks and he says, stop eating too much sugar. She said, why didn't you say that 2 weeks ago when I came here? He said, oh, 2 weeks ago, I was still eating too much sugar.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, I believe in that story, he actually gave up sugar for a while, Gandhi, because you can't coach another person past the point you haven't gone yourself. And you know, this whole thing about our bodies, Greg, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves, it's, I see it in young children when it starts, you know, like I was telling you before, when somebody falls and kids laugh or whatever. But it's so interesting how when we look in the mirror, the first thing we look for, and tell me if this, for those of you who are listening to this, tell me if this sounds right, that when you look at things, look at your body, the first thing you look for are the things that are not going right with it, looking for all the imperfections. And what if you no longer were interested in that? What if you were interested in looking at the aspects of your body that are working? And what if you saw that most of the things that you said didn't work about your body really do work? That your body has been a faithful companion. And any imperfections, folks, that you see in your body is the natural consequence of living in physical reality. Now, I also want to say something about people who want to lose weight, because I found that when you lose weight, when you want to lose weight because of dissatisfaction with your body, it's really difficult. If you're interested in losing weight because you're befriending your body and you don't want your body carrying around so much weight, there's more chance for success because you're doing it out of love rather than out of a sense of shame or negative thoughts. So there are many reasons to have a relationship with your body that is wonderful. I remember a woman that I heard speak, 𝗔𝗹𝘀𝗀 Taylor, who wrote My Stroke of Insight. And she had a stroke that she had to recover from, which she did. And she says that one of the things that she does with the all these trillions of sentient cells, when she wakes up in the morning, she sits up and she says, good going, girls, good going, girls, you know, or here another day, good going. And, you know, I've done that, especially during difficult times and with my body. And it works. It really does. So that your body sees that you want to be its friend. You know, I've myself personally lived with chronic pain for about 14 years now, ever since I had very intensive chemotherapy and radiation for breast cancer. They gave me an extra special high dose of it for good reason. But I've found that when I saw at the beginning that my pain was something to fight against, to complain about, to try to push away from me, you know, like by all kinds of means, it didn't work. but to have a relationship with my pain. Yes, my doctors have me on certain medications to mitigate the intensity of the pain, but just learning to live with it and to acknowledge my body for being so courageous and strong, to be able to be here and to be able to enjoy life, even with this chronic pain. So I say to people, if I can do it myself, it's possible for you too.
Thanks for sharing that personal
Yep.
story, Maria.
Absolutely.
Really brings home the meaning of this course.
Yeah. Well, I invite people, if you've done our Academy foundational training, okay, if you're a coach, please come on in. We can take a lot of people in this course because the processes you're going to be going through, we're going to be putting you in small groups, and you're going to be led in a very direct way through all the processes. Even if you're not considering to be a coach, but you've gone through our Academy foundational training, please come on board. Come to this because I know you'll get a lot out of it.
Perfect. And it's August 19th, 20th, and 21st, 9 to 5 Pacific, 12 to 8 Eastern. We have these courses. We have people from all over the world join our courses on Zoom. So it'll be a sweet group.
It certainly will. It certainly will. So come and join
Well,
us.
thanks for having this conversation, Maria. This has been fun. I can't believe we waited this long to do a live streaming, conversation like this. So let's do more.
Yeah.
And, to our community, let us know what you think.
Please do. We want to hear from you. Bye-bye for now.